Hi, in this video we will be going through the answers for Module 20 review. Make sure that you have tried the worksheet on your own first before you look at these answers. Here we go. Module 20 review number 1. Use the diagram and information below to find the answer for the radius and the center of the circle as shown. So we can see that here the center is C, and then the radius is 7 centimeters. Number 1, what is the circumference of circle C? So we know that the formula for finding the circumference is 2 pi r. So substitute the radius in, which is 7, we will have 14 pi centimeters, and that is the answer, B. Number 2, what is the area of the circle? So we know that the formula for the area of a circle is pi r squared. And again, the radius is 7, so we're going to substitute that in. And 7 squared is 49. So we have 49 pi, and then we got to add the unit, which is always square for area. So that is answer C for number 2. Number 3, which could be measured in square units. So in all of these answers, there's only area, which is square units. Diameter is just regular units, and circumference also. So area is the only one with a square unit. Number 4, which could be measured in linear units. So the radius is definitely going to be linear units. Area is going to be square units, and angle measures are in degrees. And number 5, what is the circumference of a circle with radius 8? So once again, the circumference is given by the formula 2 times pi times the radius. And since we are given the radius, we will substitute 8 in there, and we have 16 pi, and the unit is meters. So that would be answer choice C. Number 6, what is the area of a circle with a radius of 3? So once again, area formula is pi r squared, and it is pi times 3 squared, which is 9 pi, and then the unit is square feet for the area, and that is answer choice B. Number 7 and 8, we're using the same diagram. So use the diagram and information below. Angle P OQ is a central angle, and its measure is 80 degrees. The length of the radius and the measure are shown. So we have the radius is at 1 mile. And so number 7, what is the closest to the length of the PQ? So we know that arc length S is given by the formula, the measure of the angle divided by 360 times the circumference, which is 2 pi r. So in this case, the angle measure is given by 80 degrees. So 80 over 360 times 2 pi times the radius, which is 1 mile from the problem. And then we can reduce 80 over 360 to 2 over 9. So we're going to write 2 over 9. And then 2 pi times 1 equals 2 pi. And if you multiply everything together, that will give us 4 pi over 9. And that unit is miles. And if you approximate that, you can go ahead and calculate 4 times pi divided by 9. You should get approximately 1.4 mile. And the answer is choice B. Number 8, which is the closest to the area of the sector. So I'm going to erase the work over here so I can use the space. So the area of a sector is given by the measure over 360, that is the formula, times pi r squared. And so the angle, once again, is 80 degrees over 360 times the radius is, again, 1 mile. So we're going to square that. And once again, this fraction reduces to 2 over 9. And then 1 squared is 1. 1 times pi is still pi. And so it's either going to be 2 pi over 9 or approximately 0.7 square meters or square miles. And so we will select answer choice A for number 8. And then number 9, look at the circle below, and what is the area of the shaded sector of the circle rounded to the nearest tenth? So once again, we are looking for the area of the sector. So area of the sector is given by the measure over 360. Notice that this degree, the angle is in radian measure. So instead of dividing by 360, we're going to actually divide by 2 pi, which is actually equivalent to 360. So actually 2 pi is actually equal to 360. So one is degree and one is radian. And so, and then same thing, pi r squared is the formula for the area. So we're going to substitute the measure of the angle, which is pi over 3. It's right here, given by pi over 3, divided by 2 pi times pi, and then the radius is 2. So we're going to substitute that in. And then we're going to work out the math here. Pi over 3 dividing by 2 pi over 1 is multiplying by the reciprocal. So it's 1 over 2 pi. And then we still have 2 squared, which is 4 times pi. Let's cancel out some pi's here. The pi's will cancel out. And we have on top 1 times 4 pi, which is 4 pi, over 6 on the bottom. And we can actually reduce 4 over 6 to 2 over 3. So it becomes 2 pi over 3, which is approximately 2.09 centimeters square. And that is the answer for number 9. And that happens to be answer choice C. So we are done with the front side of the worksheet. Let's move on to the back. Number 10. A regular pentagon is inscribed in a circle with center C, and given that XCY is a central angle, what is the measure of XCY? So in this case, the full circle is 360 degrees. We have a pentagon inscribed inside, so we're going to divide 5 sides, and that will give us each one of them 72 degrees. So here the angle is 72 degrees. Number 11, what is the radius of a circle with a circumference of 64 pi? So we know that the circumference is given by 2 pi times the radius. And since we actually are given the circumference, we're going to substitute 64 pi, and we're going to solve for the radius. And we're going to divide both sides by 2 pi, and that will get rid of the pi's here, and 64 divided by 2, that leaves us the radius is 32, and the unit is inches. And so the answer for number 11 is the radius is 32 inches. Number 12, what is the circumference? And I'm going to clean this up. What is the circumference of a circle with a diameter of 10? So once again, I'm going to use the same circumference formula, and then I'm going to substitute the radius. Since we know the diameter is 10, we also should know that the radius is half of the diameter, which is 5 centimeters. So it's going to be 2 pi times 5, which is 10 pi centimeters. And you can also round it to decimal if you like, but we're going to just leave it in terms of pi for now. Number 13, what is the area of a circle with a diameter of 50 meters? Round your answer to the nearest whole square meter. So we're going to start with realizing that the diameter is 50 means the radius is going to be half of that, which is 25 meters. And now with that, we can use the formula for the area of the circle, which is pi r squared. And so we're going to substitute 25 in for the radius, square that. That will give us 625 pi, which is approximately 1963 to the nearest whole number, and that is meter square. For both of the answers are here. Number 14, what is the radius of a circle with an area of 49? So we're going to actually start with the area formula, which is pi r squared, and we know the area already, so we're going to substitute 49 pi in there and solve for the radius. So once again, we're going to divide both sides by pi to get rid of that. So we have r squared equals, the pi's will cancel out, it's 49. And then we need to take square root of both sides to get rid of the square. So to undo the square, we take square root. So r is equal to 7. And the unit is inches. So the radius is actually 7 inches. Number 15, a central angle with a measure of excuse me, measure of 50 degree is drawn in a circle with a radius of 10. What is the length of the intercepted arc to the nearest 10? So we have a central angle, which is 50 degrees, and the radius is 10. And the question is, what is the length of the intercepted arc, which means we are looking for the arc length. So we're going to use our arc length formula, which is the measure of the angle divided by 360 times the circumference, which is 2 pi r. In this case, the arc measure is 50 degree divided by 360 times 2 pi, and the radius is given, which is 10. So we're going to reduce the fraction here just to 5 over 36 times 20 pi. And we can go ahead and cross cancel. 4 goes into both, so that's 5 and 9. And that will leave us 25 pi over 9, which is approximately 8.7. And there is no unit specified, so we're going to just say units. So those are the answers for number 15. Number 16, a central angle with a measure of 45 degrees is drawn in a circle with a radius of 5. So once again, you have a central angle which is 45 degrees, and then the radius is 5. And they're asking you for what is the area of the sector. So we're going to use the other formula, the area sector formula, which is the measure divided by 360. Instead of times 2 pi r for the circumference, we're going to multiply the pi r squared formula, which is for the area. And once again, we're going to substitute 45 in there. And then substitute the radius, which is 5. And reducing this will actually give us 1/8 times 25 pi. So the answer would be 25 pi over 8, or we can round it off by multiplying pi and divide, is 9.8 units. So these are both acceptable answers, and that's number 16. Moving on to number 17. The measure of angle A is pi over 2 radians, and what is the degree? So we are converting from a radian to a degree mode, and we should actually know that we need to multiply the radian times 180 over pi. So let's go ahead and take the radian times 180 over pi. And this will help us cancel out the pi's, and then 2 goes into 180 is 90. So the answer is 90 degrees is equivalent to pi over 2. Number 18. The measure of the angle is 180 degree, and what is the radian? So we're actually going back from degree to radian now, and we should know that we're going to be multiplying by pi over 180. That's the formula. So we're going to take 180 times pi over 180. Hey, the 180 cancels out, and so we have exactly pi radian as the answer for 180. And that actually makes sense because half of the circle is 180 degrees, which is 1 pi, and you come back to a full circle, which is 2 pi in a circle. So that actually makes sense. Half a pi is 180 degrees. Number 19. What is the area of the shaded region? And here's the shaded region, and we should know that we're looking for the area, which means we're going to take the measure over instead, this is actually 2 radians, so we actually can see that the angle is in radians. So let's multiply 2 pi times, and we're looking for the area, so it's pi r squared. So it's 2 radian over 2 pi times pi, and then the radius is 3. So this is going to be 1 over pi, and the pi actually cancels out. So we actually have 9. Oops. So the pi is gone, and then we just have 9 is the answer, and it's inches. square. So it's 9 inches squared. Number 20. What is the area of the shaded region? So the shaded region is right here. And we are going to use the formula for the area, which is m over 360 times pi r squared. And it is, the angle measured is actually 2.25 radian. So that's going to be 2.25 over, instead of, this is in radian, so once again we're going to change that to 2 pi times pi radius squared. We actually know the radius, which is 4, square that. So the pi's will cancel out, and we have 2.25 times 4 squared, which is 16, and then divide by 2, we will have 18 centimeters squared as the answer for number 20. And that is the end of the review questions. So go ahead and review whatever questions you need to, and then move on to the next review, which is Module 21. Have a nice day.